Hello little dragonflies and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a new drawing that is going to be Stitch and Angel, which is the little pink one that looks just like him. So I haven't actually gotten to see the movie yet, but I've seen the pictures and they're quite adorable. So I've been working on getting these together for you guys, and we're going to be putting our paper landscape, so make your paper nice and long. And then we're going to start on this side with a little Stitch. So we're going to start with a curved line. So start right about here and curve up. Now we're going to skip a little spot where we're going to add the hair. So you're going to do a curved line, skip a little spot, and then curve down, and then add a couple little pieces of hair for his little spiky hair right here. Alright, continue to curl around. It almost kind of looks like the shape of a light bulb. And then we're going to work on her head too. So go ahead and start on the top here. We're going to bring their noses down almost touching and then curve around. Now she's got actually these cute little antenna things that come down from her hair, so we're going to go ahead and draw some of those right now. And we're going to leave a space right here for the ear. So go ahead and draw an ear and the second part of the ear here. Alright, and we'll just bring that to a tip. Alright, now we can go ahead and make sure we can connect that there, because it's going to pop out the bottom here. There's actually two of these little antennas, so let's go ahead and draw one right about here. And then finish the shape of the head. Now we're going to think about where these are going to pop out. So we're going to go down. You can draw one right there, and then I'm going to think about where's this one going. Probably right about here. So draw one more right there. Alright, and then she's got one more ear over here, so let's go ahead and add her second ear. Alright, and then her head is done. Let's go ahead and work on his ears now. So we're going to start right about here, right kind of below where we did the hair, and we're going to just kick back, up and around. And these ears kind of remind me of the ears that are on a mouse. They kind of look like a little mouse alien. Now let's curve out for our two noses. Let's give him his other ear. Now their heads are done. What we need to do now is add their two eyes right here, and they actually have a colored spot around their eyes, so we're going to do the colored spot around the eye first. Map out a shape that kind of looks like a teardrop or a raindrop. Think about that shape. So you're going to start with a point, you're going to go out, curve around, and bring it back to the point like that. Now inside of there, we're going to go ahead and put the little eyes. So her eye is about this shape right here. And then she's got a little curve right there at the top of it. So once you bring that little, it's almost like a little football shape for an eye, but it's also got the little piece right there for the eyelash. Make sure that's nice and focused for you. Alright, so now on his side we're going to do the same thing, but he doesn't have the eyelash. We're going to do the same shape that he has for around his eye. So just do a smaller shape inside, and then go ahead and add our double highlight, and then this whole area is going to get colored in black. Let's do the same thing for her. Double highlight, color it all in black. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add their bodies. So go ahead and draw a curved line down and then add a little tail mark right here. On hers, we're going to kind of sweep down first and then come down to the tail area. So his back is a little bit more arched out and her back is a little bit more streamlined. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and add our feet. We're going to put the feet first because they're in front of everything else and everything else tucks into it. So he has little claws on his feet, and I think this is pretty much the easiest way I can teach you guys how to draw it. So I want you guys to just make 4 little toes, and then a circular mark. It kind of looks like a plant. It looks like some kind of plant with some leaves on it. So we're going to do the same thing for her, and about the same spot. So if their tails are here, kind of think with your eyes, and go right to about there, and we're going to add the other foot. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And just kind of the same as I said before, think about like a leaf shape. And then we're going to put one little circle inside of there, one little circle inside of here. And then we're going to give it the little toenails. So just mark off where the little toenails are. Line straight across and meet to the foot. Line straight across and meet to the foot. All right, we're going to have him putting his hand on top of her hand. So we're going to put his little muscular arm. He's got like a little bit of muscles on his little arm. So I like to bounce out right here and then go straight down to right about here, because that's about where their hands are going to be touching. Put the other line for his arm. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bounce out 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times for his fingers. You can connect those at the top and then bring this one down to a point. Now he's got little claws on his nails too, so you want to kind of just bring them out to a little tiny point right here. And then we're going to bring the 4th finger that's in the front to a little point right here. Now it looks like he's got his little hand right on top of her hand. So we're going to put her arm going down into underneath his hand like this. All right. And again, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like mine. It will still work out as long as you've got the little fingers showing there and the little feet here. Practice, practice, practice makes perfect. All right, so we've got their bodies on. We're just going to add one more little detail, and that's a little heart between the two of them. I'm going to give that a little highlight. That way when I'm coloring, I can leave that little highlight white, and it will look nice. All right, so what I want to do now is I've already gone and tested out my markers and decided what colors that I wanted to use. So for him, I've got 2 different colors of blue. So you want to have a darker blue and a lighter blue for the lighter parts of him, and I'll show you guys how and where to put the lighter blue. Actually, I've got it on my phone. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Bear with me for just a moment. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our lighter color and we're going to put our lightest color inside the area around the eye. All right, he also has a very light area here on his chest. So from here and then down across the belly, and then up here underneath his chin is going to be a light blue. Now the inside of his ear is actually a bright pink, so we're going to use this bright pink right here. And you know, that is actually a darker color than I thought it would be, so I'm going to use that as a shadow color on the edges, and I'm going to use a little bit lighter to go inside the middle. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. You know, sometimes you can use them as a swatch to try out the colors, but you don't know for sure how it's going to look until you do it. So feel free to change your mind whenever you need to about a color choice that you're using. All right, so we're going to use the darker blue now and fill in the rest of Stitch's body. So go ahead and go along the edges first. It makes it a lot easier for coloring in. And then when you're ready, start to fill in those areas. Now that little circle on the bottom of his foot is going to be a little bit darker. And he also has a couple little darker patches on his back. So we can color it in with this color, and then we can either get a darker color to go over it, or we can even use another shade. Remember to try to go in one direction with your marker if that's what you're using. Again, outlining first is always a good idea. It really helps you to kind of map out where you're going to be going, and it helps you to not go into other areas. Like I wouldn't want to get into this nose area right here, and I don't want to go over the line into his eye. So I'm going to map these areas out, and now I can easily make my brush strokes without having to worry about that. Making nice long brush strokes is the best way to color. All right, looks like he is all done. What we need to do for him now is add a little bit of a darker color for his nose, his back. Let me just see if I've got one that I like a lot. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. We'll use this. If you got one more darker blue, you can use a darker blue, or you can even use a black for his nose, the circle on his foot. And there's a shape on his back that kind of looks like this. So go ahead and add those details to your stitch now that he is done being colored. And he is done. All right, so we're going to move on to little Angel now. And Angel is actually several colors of pink. She's got a light pink, she's got a darker pink, and she's got some purple in her ears, her nose, and on those little antenna here. So let's start with our lightest pink, and we're going to go ahead and color in her eye area, this eye area right around her eye. All right, she's also got the same markings as he does. She's got the lightest color on her chest and belly. Here and here. And hers seems to go back just a little bit more, just about to right there, I think would look good. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in her ear. So she's got lighter color inside of her ear, and then she's got a little bit of purple on the edges for a shadow color, so I'll show you that in just a moment. So go ahead and find out whatever color pink that you have. Looks like my marker picked up a little of that black. I see it pulling into the ear. That's always something that you need to be careful of. That's why I like to use Sharpies, but apparently I've got something on there. It's either picked up on my paintbrush marker or it's in the marker itself. When things like that happen, I try not to worry too much because there's usually ways around it, ways that I can fix it. Sometimes I like to just go in and add another color on top of it and see if I can pull it into a shadow color. And even if I can't, it's not the end of the world. Alright, so what we want to do is add just a little bit of shadow color along the edges here. Alright, and then we're going to jump into using this color right here for the rest of her body. So she is this color pink. Go ahead and map out those areas that you're planning on coloring first. The antennae are also going to be a pink. They've got a little tiny bit of purple near the ends, and I'll show you that when we get to that part. So go ahead and color in this area right here. And remember that she has another ear back in here, so if you look at it, you can see that this entire area will need to be colored in pink. You want to fill each of those sections in separately though. You don't want to just take your marker and go back and forth over all that, because what you'll do is you'll end up dragging the black into your pink areas. So it's still important to take your time, color slowly, and especially if you're using markers, try not to drag your marker through those areas. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the little area that's going to be purple. So you can kind of see I just skipped a spot right there. That's about where we're going to add the purple. So go ahead and add the pink to the bottom and leave just one little spot to put a purple stripe. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish her head, and then we'll work on her body, and then we'll go back with our purple color. So again, just like we did with the bigger stitch, or the blue stitch, we're going to go ahead and drag our lines nice and long with our marker. If you're using marker, nice and long strokes are the best. It just helps to minimize the strokes from being seen. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump down into the body now. Go ahead and outline your area. Try to stay away from your guidelines with the black marker. Try not to pick up any colors from Stitch's blue. We want to keep it nice and clean. Alright, nice long strokes up the arm now. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and add the color to the foot. All right, so it's time for our purple. So if you pick out a purple that's kind of like a lighter color, you're going to have a good time with it, because then if you need to add it on another layer of it, you'll be able to. So this is a pretty good color, pretty close to the color that I'm looking at right now for her. And so you do want to start with a lighter purple. That way, if you want to go over it several times to make it a little bit darker, you'll have that choice. If you start immediately with a dark color, you really don't have any options as to going over it a second time. So I would suggest just pick a light color, and then you kind of want to overlap it just a little bit. You see how that kind of blends it and kind of makes it fit? We also want to put a little bit of this purple color in the shadow of her ear. So she's got a little bit of shadows right here. And up and over. All right. Now she's got a hot pink around her. Let me just look for a second if I've got a hotter pink than the one I just used. Let's see how this one turns out here. All right, that'll work because it's a little bit of a different shade. So the little part of the inside of her toe has a little bit of hot pink on it, and the back of her back has a little bit of hot pink on it. The same kind of shape that he has on his back. So we're going to just add that. All right, and then if you wanted to take it one little step further and you want to add a couple little shadows in different places, you would just go along the places where the light would be the least. So along the edge of the bottom of her arm, along the edge of the bottom of her, where she's sitting, maybe a little bit along the edge of her neckline. These are all good places to put drop shadows. All right. I think that looks done. Okay, so what we want to do now is jump into the heart, and I think I'm going to just use this color right here. It's a nice little hot pink. I think I might transition it to another color of red in a minute, so I'm going to do half of it with this color and then blend it into another shade. So I'm just going to pull some lines right into that to kind of blend those two together, and then pick up where I left off. All right. I think that looks just about done. All right, guys, so I hope you guys had a lot of fun today drawing Stitch and Angel. I hope you guys get a chance to see the movie. I know I'm going to go search it up this week, and I will see you guys for our next drawing together. Bye.